The ACLU recently did an investigation into the number of Americans who actually get sent to jail because they're poor. These are people who unfortunately have been dealing with a financial emergency, maybe a medical emergency, and as a result have not been able to pay certain debts. And so collectors have found a sneaky way to circumvent the laws against debtors' prisons in order to find a way to imprison these people until they pay back that money. So let me give you the details on this, and The Intercept did an excellent job in reporting it. Collectors ranging from federal student lenders to third-party debt buyers to utility and ambulance services routinely wield the threat of arrest to intimidate people into paying up. So what they do is the collectors will take these debtors to small claims court. And more often than not, the judge will rule in the collector's favor, meaning that the person who owes the debt will have to deal with a ruling indicating that they have to pay that money back. But what happens if you're poor? What happens if you're not able to pay that money back? Well, oftentimes what happens is they will not get the notification necessary to show up to one of the court hearings. And when that happens, there's a warrant out for their arrest and they're thrown in jail. Usually the judge will decide to set the cash bail amount at the same amount that that individual owes to the collector. And then as soon as the person, if they're able to pay that bail amount, pays that amount, the judge then hands the money over to the collection agency.
So we outlawed debtors' prisons in America in 1833. So almost 200 years ago, we thought it was such a barbaric practice that we said you're not allowed to do it anymore. Now we have brought it back in two different ways. Number one, if you owe the government money, so for example, for a traffic ticket, they go, well, that's different. You're not owing it to a private citizen, you owe it to the government. So if you don't pay that, we could put you in prison. So now there's so many fines and penalties and levies because it's a regressive form of taxation. They cut tax on corporations and the rich. They got to get the money from somewhere. So they increase, tickets for parking meter violations, et cetera. But you owe that to the government, and they throw you in jail. Now the second way that they've done it is what's being outlined here. And it's a really interesting loophole that they created. Now, if you owe money to, let's make up an absurd case, McDonald's, that's a private corporation. They can't put you in prison because you didn't pay for your Big Mac, okay? But what they can do, and so in one of these cases, it's actually Jared Kushner's family that owns the apartment building, and they're doing this to about 100 people who are late in their rent. Now, okay, they didn't pay their rent. You got every right to kick them out, et cetera. We're not arguing about that. But they say, okay, now you owe me money, so I can't put you in prison for that. I'm having trouble collecting it. So instead, I'm going to start a civil proceeding against you, not criminal. But if you don't show up, and this actually happens most in medical emergencies, because you might still be in the hospital, or you might be in a different state being treated. And they go, and a lot of times they don't want you to show up. So they mail it to you right away, a couple of notices. You don't show up to court, then they go, hey, Mr. Judge, can you give me a warrant for their arrest because they didn't show up to court? That's called contempt of court. Now the judges are in on it, unfortunately. That's why they do what Anna said. You owe $2,300, they set the bail at, wink, $2,300. And as soon as you give them bail money, they give it over to the company.
Right.
Now, if you have the $2,300, it's still wrong because we shouldn't have debtors' prisons. But most of the people here don't have the money. That's why they didn't pay it. Or some of them don't even know about it. And they can't afford the bail. So if you're rich, no problem. You can afford the bail, you're done. Middle class, most of you are all right. If you're poor, that's it. You're rotting away in a debtor's prison because they created a loophole.
And if you're poor, you don't have the resources necessary to defend yourself. So for instance, if you were not properly notified by the courts or by the collection agency that's going after you, how are you gonna fight back? How are you gonna make your case that you didn't get the proper notification? If you're poor, you don't have the resources to do that. That requires a lawyer, that requires a very expensive legal process. So I wanted to profile a couple of the stories that really stood out to me. These are specific people who went through this process, and what I'm about to read speaks to what you were saying, Cenk. People who had medical emergencies, and while they were getting the treatment that they needed, the notices were sent, and then as soon as they come home, they're served with that warrant, then they have to go to jail. So people, let's go to graphic 43. People with outstanding medical debt were too ill to go to court, as in the case of an Indiana mother, okay? Mother of 3 who had been living with family in Florida while she recovered from thyroid cancer. A small claims court had issued 3 warrants in a suit over her unpaid medical bills, and she was arrested when she returned home. So she returns home and she's like, wait, what is going on? And they're like, oh, you haven't paid your medical bills. There are 3 warrants out for your arrest, you're gone. Doesn't matter that she was suffering from thyroid cancer, doesn't mean that she was getting, doesn't matter that she was getting the treatment that she needed, they didn't care.
And didn't break any laws.
Didn't break any laws, exactly. Next case, a mentally disabled man living on $690 a month in legally exempt Social Security benefits had been ordered to either pay $100 a month or appear in court once a month for a 3-year period. As soon as he missed an appearance, he could be arrested.
Yeah, and you cannot garnish government benefits like Social Security. So the collectors, when they come for you, if they take the Social Security money, you might not be able to sustain yourself. That's why that law exists. But now, since they can arrest you, they use that threat of arrest to get your Social Security money anyway. And in that case, it's a person who is particularly not able to protect himself.
Right.
And they intimidate and threaten, and et cetera. Now, there is an attorney in Texas who runs a Collections 101 course. And in that course, he teaches in a handbook entitled, "It's Easier to Settle When the Debtor is Under Arrest." So this is not a thing that they're unaware of. They know it, they use it to their advantage. The court system knows it, but it helps them crush poor people anyway. And Jennifer Turner from the ACLU made a great point, similar to what Anna was saying. She said it is, quote, largely an invisible problem because the people that it affects don't have enough money for lawyers. They don't have enough money for PR, of course not. So nobody ever finds out about it. And that's why they pick on the powerless, because it's easier. They don't have any means to fight back.
Right.
So in some ways that we've outlined in other stories, the rich get richer. In this case, the poor get poorer. And by the way, if you put them in jail, then they oftentimes get fired, and then they have less money and can't pay you back, and then they gotta sit in jail longer.
Right.
Not only do they get poorer, but the powerless get even more crushed by this system.
And it's really a system of scamming people as much as possible, because everyone, all the bad actors here are in bed together. And what I mean by that is not only do they threaten these people by saying, oh, well, you know, there could be a warrant out for your arrest, they encourage them to take out loans from payday lenders. So it's a vicious cycle. We all know that as soon as you take out that loan from payday lenders, there are all sorts of fees and high interest rates attached to that loan. And it essentially digs these people into an even deeper financial hole. And it's really devastating to see how many people suffer from this. By the way, tens of thousands of people in the United States, according to the ACLU, deal with these arrest warrants every single year. And the problem will only get worse if we allow our politicians to be bought by the same collections agencies and payday loan lenders that love this system. So Mick Mulvaney, who is supposed to protect us as consumers, is refusing to do anything about this. He has already scrapped a plan to gather additional data on consumer understanding of debt collection disclosures. And also keep in mind that, you know, these industries are deep in his pocket. The Association of Credit and Collection Professionals International reported nearly $400,000 in federal lobbying expenses in 2017 and gave $183,000 to the campaigns of 2016 congressional candidates, including $3,000 to Mulvaney's.
So I want to add one bit of clarity to that. So Mulvaney got moved over to Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. At the time, they were planning to do a campaign to protect you guys. It's in their name, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So they knew about this problem, and it was actually a rare case where the government was going to do something positive. Mulvaney, having already taken money from the people whose job it is to collect money from you and put you in prison, said, oh, what an unlucky break for you guys. It turns out I decided you don't need protection. I already got my $3,000. Look at how cheap they bought him for. And the minute he comes in and he goes, nope, we're not going to do that protection anymore. Keep on putting them in prison, keep on squeezing them for every dollar, and eventually give me a tiny little bit of it, and that's all you need. God, man, the sickness of money in politics is what drives so much of this. We're in such bad shape. We're hoping to go back to the good old days of 1833. You just watched the video by the Young Turks, home of the revolution. If you'd like to get a lot more than that, get the full show by becoming a member. TYTnetwork.com/join.